pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we do roll call?
Here.
Yes.
Here.
Here.
Here. All right, we'll do the public hearing. A quorum being present, the first order of business is to hold a public hearing on the e-learning plan. Due notice has been given of the public hearing on the e-learning plan and all other statutory requirements preliminary to the holding of such public hearing have been compiled with. The e-learning plan was presented for a first read at the September 24th, 2019 Committee of the Whole Board meeting. Dr. Stinkus
Thank
and
you.
Mr. Lindquist will present and explain the plan and answer any questions from the board.
At this time, I ask that Ms. Lindquist come forward. And I'm going to ask Kylie just to summarize the plan she explained at the last board meeting where there was a first reading.
I'm good.
There were no questions submitted. Again, this is a formality under the new legislation that was approved, that we do have to have a public hearing to review our e-learning plan in the event we choose to use e-learning days in place of an emergency day for a school closure, or if there's a conflict where we need to hold classes outside the building. Ms. Lindquist has done an excellent job putting this together, and so I'd like to turn it over to Ms. Lindquist to briefly summarize the e-learning plan that you saw 2 weeks ago.
Thank you. As I talked about it at the last board meeting, this, as Dr. Skinkus alluded to, is a formality now under the new law that Pritzker signed into effect, Public Act 101-0012, which became effective July 1st of 2019, that requires all districts have a district e-learning plan shared on their website, approved by their Board of Education, shared out with all stakeholders in the event that we choose to use e-learning days in lieu of the 5 emergency days. The highlights, again, in this plan are all developed in conjunction with the checklist that I was given from our West 40 ROE, from Dr. Mark Klasner. So this plan was developed with the criteria in mind as it is listed for the state. Some of the finer points that you will see in the plan are how we are going to approach students who do not have access to Wi-Fi and technology, because part of the law is that we make resources available for those students. The plan also details how our staff has been trained and what the e-learning expectations are, both for students, general educators, and special educators. This plan was something that we have already put into place. Last year, as you know, we used 2 e-learning days in lieu of 2 emergency days. So we were really ahead of the curve on this because we already had our training modules done. Bridget Wilmot did a great job of putting out videos to help everyone understand how to put a Google link for attendance up, how to share something out on Schoology, which is the learning management system that our students will be able to access all of their materials on. Also written into the law is an opportunity for teachers and stakeholders to provide feedback. We were able to meet with students, meet with teachers, meet with parents about our e-learning days last year, and have made some tweaks that you'll see in this new plan, such as when students need to check in by, last year it was noon, we moved that up to 11 upon parent request, as well as when students turn in their work. So that is going to be something that they're now turning in the actual day of, unless they are students who are impacted by needing to have alternate access to Wi-Fi or alternate access to materials. So again, this plan was developed in conjunction with the ROE, so I have full confidence that when we hear from the ROE about how they're going to approve these plans, because we haven't heard that yet, we are going to be ready with that, because we have developed it with the ISB guidelines in mind, with the law sitting right next to me. And when we know what hoops we have to jump through, we want to be able to go ahead and be prepared and have the Board of Education's blessing on the e-learning plan we put forward.
Are there any other questions from the board? Board President Smithing, I think Kylie's, like I stated before, Kylie has done everything that's required. I think we've met all the requirements from the state. The board's had 2 reads of this, and I'd recommend that the board approve this later in the meeting.
Okay. The meeting will now be open for public discussion, and all persons desiring to be heard will be heard at this time.
So you plus, okay.
This is,
It's not e-learning anymore.
well, this is
Related to
visitors'
e-learning.
comments on e-learning. I'm sorry. We will have a visitors' comment shortly in the public meeting.
Related to e-learning. Okay. Seeing that no further comments about e-learning from the public, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Can I have a motion to adjourn the special meeting?
The hearing, the public
Special-
hearing.
I'm sorry, the public hearing.
And a second?
Second.
Mr. Durkin? And
Durkin.
Durkin? And then all vote, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Okay, you guys have it. Good. So we're back to
Regular meeting.
regular meeting. Information items.
Thank you, Kylie.
FOIA.
There were no FOIA reports submitted this week.